What it?
Oh, that's good.
She didn't get me, did you? Eric, get back in there and get my roll.
Please subscribe show. YouTube Cole Spivey. Yeah, man.
Oh, it does do that. So it is kind of rainy today. I don't know for sure if it's gonna rain. I don't 100% proof. It might say in weather report, but there's the lonely boat dock that's out in the middle of nowhere. Lake Worth. And yes, we know about the Lake Worth monster who's somewhere around. There's rumor that exists. There's a musical written about the Lake Worth monster at a place called Hip Pocket Theater, which is pretty much, I'm getting a mosquito bite like right here. Kind of scratching, a mosquito bite. And the reason why is because if you go out to Hip Pocket, big time mosquitoes. But I'm noticing a lot of traffic, big time traffic. Like it gets congested, people get kind of hot-headed. No one is slowing down because of the gas prices. They're actually speeding up. It's just crazy. It's kind of like the Road Warrior kind of thing. It really is crazy. We're looking at $4.45 for a gallon of gas. That's outrageous. A lot of times when we talk about gas getting too high, we would, say, well, it'll never get over $5. It would never happen. And it's getting that way. Not in Texas. We never thought, well, here in Texas, will gas ever get, I'm getting a mosquito bite right there. But would it ever get that high? I gotta watch out. I got off in the back. These mosquitoes, especially by the lake, they can get like into the car. You gotta be kind of careful. But would it get higher than $5 a gallon? It's a nightmare to even think about. $5 a gallon is a nightmare to even think about. We'd always say, no, it's never gonna get that high. It's been high like $4.45. Pretty high indeed. Right, Critter? So we're looking at $4.49. Terribly high. I went ahead and updated my top films that I have right now. The films I really like that get my notice. Everything from Road Warrior, which is Mad Max, to Godard's Breathless, all kinds of stuff that I just, like Paranoid Park, Gus Van Sant, which I'm a big fan of. I put the film project down there because Sean Baker, I went to school with him, or went to the same school. But he was in a different department than I was. He was more in the behind the scenes. I put a couple of Bradley Coopers down too, because I think he's done some good work. The Midnight Meat Train, which is a Clive Owen story that was done by a Japanese filmmaker or an Asian filmmaker. That one I did. And The Place Beyond the Pines, which I thought was a very, very good one, which is about, some of it's about police corruption, some of it's about a bunch of different stuff. Robbery, things like that. It's actually a really good film. Bradley did that one. He's also a peer. So it was cool that I went to a school, the new school, where there's actually two stars that come out of there, Sean Baker and Bradley Cooper, one director and one actor. Although I have to say the actor studio, they you know, they found Bradley Cooper. Sean Baker was actually found more by the New School. So he was more of a New School prodigy. I don't think he was part of the Actor Studio. I don't think he was. But he did do intensive editing. Non-linear editing, to be exact. Which I don't know what that means. It's kind of like, think of Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction would be non-linear editing. I think. I don't know. Quentin Tarantino, the only one that that made it was Reservoir Dogs, of course, because I think he changed his style after Reservoir Dogs completely, 100%. What he did was he went into what's Kill Billism, and a lot of his movies, even Inglourious Bastards, had it. But it's like a Kill Billism kung fu kind of film style. I was listening to Sean Baker talk about all these different films. It's like a mishmash American going in, mentioning every single film they could possibly think of in every genre at one time, other than cartoons. All right, over now. What I meant to say was the Florida Project. Sean Baker, the Florida Project. See it, totally cried. Could not hold my tears back. It was the scene at the end with the little girl. The little girl is so talented. All the actors are brilliant. William Dafoe's great. The little girl comes to tell her friend goodbye because her mom got taken away, and she was being separated because of CPS. Totally reminded me of my daughter, my little girl Lizzie. Just bawled, crying. I haven't cried like that in a film in a long time. Almost cried like that in E.T., but my friend did. He cried for me. I went to the restroom and I looked up and he had tears in his eyes. I said, "Were you crying?" It was about an alien. But I kind of laughed, because back then I couldn't really deal with it. But E.T. was funny for me, but it did make me cry. It was the first time I got a big lump in my throat at the movie theater. Everybody did, because E.T. had to go home. Really sad moment, Dutch angle. Now, I'm trying to think of emotional movies that I got bawled in. Another one, believe it or not, was a Richard Gere movie called Hachi. Bawled like a baby, just crying, just tears. Just spoiling down. Just like tears just running down my face. Just just crying, just sniffling, like snot coming out of my nose. It was over a dog. Just guy from Seinfeld's in it. Alexander guy. There's a statue of a dog. Really happened, true story about a professor that had a heart attack. Dog waited for him the entire time. I was so sad. Saddest movie ever. It's like Benji. Benji or Old Yeller. Didn't cry at any of that. Couldn't handle it in Hachi. Richard Gere had me going. I don't think I've ever cried in a movie like that ever. My first wife was laughing at me. It was right before she divorced me too. Shortly after that, my first wife divorced me. It's no lie. It's actually true. We were in a kind of an extended stay hotel because our apartment had flooded. She didn't like the place we were at. Neighbors, she didn't like the noise, and there was just it was just thin walls, and so she just left. She just divorced me. But I guess we went to this extended stay hotel because they had to put us up because the place flooded. Because of some kind of problem upstairs, some kind of, I don't know what it was. I wrote about it. I don't want to get into it. But anyway, we were watching cable and Hachi came on. I guess it's called Hachi. It was Richard Gere. It's about a dog, little tiny Japanese dog, and it just really kind of got onto me. I don't know what it was. I think it was his Buddhist philosophy about something. I don't know. The dog just waited. He wouldn't go away. He just kept waiting, waiting for his master to return. Would not give up. Just kept on, wait, like an obedient, loyal dog. Just cried. I just cried. Anyway, that's a good one. Straight Story made it. Is David Lynch. Not a pretty good one. David Lynch. I don't really know if he's really got the tearjerker thing, but he does seep into the soul in a way. His films are creepy like a dream. They're a lot like dreaming. They come from some space that other filmmakers have not really hit upon yet, that I don't think of, other than maybe Fellini. I was watching the commentary to Martin Scorsese's "Who's That Knocking at My Door?" Yeah. Some weird stuff, like just nothing like how Scorsese approached probably some of his other films. I found out those were a series of shorts. that he had put together. One called something about Bring Out the Dancing Ladies or something, and then another one, can't recall the other short film. Bring On the Dancing Ladies or Bring Out the Dancing Ladies or something, and then there's another one. But they put all the films together, and they came out with Who's That Knocking in the 60s, which was a Harvey Keitel one. And then later they finally did Taxi Driver, or Mean Street, and then Taxi Driver. Mean Street was probably the next one on the block. Then eventually, I think before Taxi Driver, around that time, there was Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which is also a pretty good one with Harvey Keitel. But anyway, gotta go. All right. Just like I usually always do, I always pick up a order right when it starts raining. But sometimes this gets really, really rough, and then sometimes not. But usually it's the case now. It's just starting to pour. But I never leave home without my umbrella. So I do have that. I don't know if you saw it there, but got some rain coming up here. See what I mean? Almost every time I pick up an order, this pretty much happens. The rain. Get your wild cherry freeze. see that people are still working right here. If you look on top of that building right there, they're still actually working right there. You can smell the rain too. Home of the brave, Keller Indians.